Welcome everybody, we are back again here with a tier list. I'm again live on stream and I'm going to do the tier list as it is. This time we're still having the one from last patch, which was the last patch of season 6, and this time we're going to do the tier list in patch 7.00 together with the help of the chat or the impressions of the chat. Since we're already having the existing tier list, we're going to just move the units around. And what is really important, I saw it last time in the comments. So if there's like so usually if I say a unit is A or B, I just take them like it is. But sometimes I say it's like A plus or B plus or A minus. And I want to start to move the units around like this as well. So if I say a unit is A plus, I'm gonna try to move them at the top of A. And if a unit is more like A minus, I'm gonna move them towards the end of A. So that's how we're gonna do it. So let's get through all the units and move them around how I feel they are, and please give me your impressions. So probably everybody already knows I love Banana Bunk, especially for wave 7 and 8. This did not change, especially with wave 8 still being super strong against pack leader with a pack leader or in general because of its huge attack speed. So Banana Bunk is still probably the best unit you can have for wave 7 and 8. S tier absolutely stays for me, there was no change on it. XX still the same, it's just super potential for late game with the dying egg. It's such a nice opener. And together with the Growl, it's really strong, so those two will stay here. Last patch, Soraa and Priestess were a real big powerhouse, and this did change due to drastic nerfs. I already considered where I want to put this this morning, and I'm not 100% sure yet. It is not as for sure. I'm not sure if it is A now or B. So this would already be a candidate like A minus, B plus, but since the nerfs were kind of drastical, I want to put it at B plus for now. But I'm really interested in your opinion about Soraa and Priestess. So let me know them in the chat and we can talk about it if you think something is different here. And last but not least, there's the Coiler. Still a super strong unit. It's preventing so many sends, so many ranged sends especially, and overall it's just having the second best DPS after the Nightmare, so that's a super strong unit. Priestess is still A. You think so? I didn't play it too often, I just played it once now. Surely not A tier. I let you discuss and then I might change my opinion while we proceed. So next on we're having Aqua. There was a Aqua buff on the Fire Elemental. This is insane because Aqua is really nice in the early game. I loved it the last seasons, like season 5 especially. And before that, Aqua was one of my main openers. And it's coming back slowly. It's still not on the same level as it was there, but it's coming back and it's not bad at all. So I would absolutely leave it at A. It is not S yet, especially with the nerfs on the Rogue Wave. Same sticks for the Bone Warrior. Bone Warrior super versatile, which makes it probably the strongest tier 1, and this is probably never really gonna change unless one is really broken. Next one we're having the Bus, and I'm not 100% sure about leaving the Bus like it is, because the Consort is still a super strong unit, but the Bus itself with the 50% passive damage it's now dealing instead of 60, it got nerfed really hard, and you can see this in a lot of early game waves where you're just not having enough damage. So I probably leave it at A because of the Consort and the strength of Consort. But if I would rate Bus here, I would rate Bus probably B. Wanderer, still a very nice tank, delaying the wave, Really awesome. Same as the buckler. They're fulfilling their job. They do what you want to do. And this is just perfect for them. Next on, there's a lot of controversial things about the LOD. They're still very, very good overall, but they're not the best magic damage units anymore, especially with the nerfs to Steed. Hades is, on the other hand side, really strong, especially late game with some auras like Wipe Main or Hero or something like that. I think I want to do it at A- right now. So this feels actually pretty clean. Mask, I would not rate them A anymore. They're not bad, they're not perfect though, so I'm gonna rate them at B. This does not mean B-, just let's do it in the middle. Yes, Monks saying it as well. With auras, it's awesome. Next on, Mudman. Dude, Mudman is just so nice. We have to rank it a little bit higher. Let's do it like here. Just get it a little bit to the top. Mudman is one of the best tanks at the moment. Probably the best tank if you had to choose out of all the tanks and you got only one. I would probably always choose Mudman because of the harden ability. It's just bringing another step into your gameplay because you can decide on what waves you want to be strong and on which ones you don't want to be strong. Probably a unit with a negative win rate is Steed. So I could imagine the unit is around 49% win rate because it's getting picked so often. Even if you're not having the best comp with it, and especially with a lot of comps getting nerfed, we have to rate it a little bit worse than last time. So we're going to do it at A-, but it's still a super strong unit, and it's super useful for a lot of late game comps, especially with Hellgate or Hades. So we will do it there. Is Aqua really A tier? Yes, I would say so. Aqua is really strong at the moment. And Gate obviously stays the same. Gate is just super strong if you're having auras, if you're having a late game build. So we will leave it here. Next on, we already talked about the Asteria. We're having the Berserker. And Berserker was one of the best openers with the right setup actually. And now it is even getting buffed a little. So I would put it at A- now. Have the right setup, have Gargoyles, have Serpent, have a Butcher. And you will have a really nice wave 1 to 6. After that, you will have to find some other options, some other units that will support you there. But until then, Berserker is a way of choice. There's not much to say about Butcher, not much to say about Chainfist. I think they're pretty much the same. Same about Starcaller. Firelord actually is getting more and more into my heart. I feel this is becoming the strongest magic damage dealing unit out there at the moment. I just am not sure if it's already enough for A tier, but I want to move it a little bit up. Up at the B tier spot. So that is probably where it belongs right now, but I'm not 100% sure if you can already say it's an A tier because it's a really strong unit. It tanks really strong on a lot of waves, especially in the early game. Bunk, Firelord is great, for example. Exactly. And thanks a lot, Beast, for your sub. Thanks so much for your support. Alright, next on we're having Gargoyle. I think they're balanced. Not much to say about that. Monks, thank you so much as well. Thank you to you two guys for your love. There's not much to say about the Gargoyle. Gate Guard, I mean it's a decent unit. It's nice if you can snowball with it, especially if you're having like Gate Guard Butcher. You can snowball a little bit if you're getting bad sense or sense on the wrong waves. You're pretty free to go, but so far I would say it's balanced. Flower is pretty much balanced now as well. I like it as it is. It got nerfed a lot for the late game while getting a little bit more HP in return. I really do like this. Thanks for your follows as well, guys. I'm gonna come back to that after the video. After that, I think Infiltrator, Red, and Nikomata, they did not change too much. Nikomata did change a little bit, but with its purpose of being a more or less early game unit and getting some stacks and some heal with it, it did not really change. It did change if you did spam non-upgraded Nikomatas in the mid and late game. And there you will have 10 health less for every Nikomata you build. So it's now more efficient if you upgrade Nikomatas instead of spamming them. But it's still a balanced unit, I would say, even though before that the HP value was actually higher than B tier. Nightmare is probably one of the stronger units now. I actually want to do it in A tier. I did have it in B tier because of the pathing issues it had, but with pathing being a lot better right now, especially a lot more consistent, you can now build with a Nightmare that is not dying first, and that's why it's moving upwards into the A tier. Somewhere in the middle, not at the end. Next on PV, it's balanced, Mask balanced, Atom balanced, maybe even a little bit worse than balanced. We're having the Badger, which is super balanced. Windhawk still balanced, nothing to change there. Varg is actually one of the stronger B units, since I want to rate it like this. It's probably the strongest B unit in my eyes. And your Soraa, Elite Archer, nothing that really changed there. Nothing that changed as well with the Angler, so we leave it like this. White main is actually getting more and more popular, and I want to do it in B tier now. Even though the Antler is probably still trash, but white main is one of the best auras you can have now, especially for the late game, where a lot of games tend to go, like with Gaze, with Hades, all that. So that's fine. I already see the fight going about Anglers. I would even do them in D tier, if I would do by personal opinion. Alright, next on we are in Pilgrim, nothing changed there. Boas. They got a little buff. They're still really weak unless you have either Star Coiler, Magician, or Sorcerer. So still gonna leave them there. I can't comment on Harpies. They got a buff with faster projectile speed, so I'm not sure if this is doing too much. But Harpy, I can't say too much about this right now, so I'm gonna leave it like this. White main is A tier. Yes, absolutely. White main would be A tier, but since I'm rating the whole unit and Antler for me is like weak as an opener and as an early game unit, I will rate the Antler in the middle of B somewhere. Harpies are B tier. I didn't play them, so I don't want to rate them. So here I say it as it is. I have no clue how they perform right now. I didn't play them so far, but I still leave them there because they were there last season, but I can't comment too much on it. Next on, we're having the surprise unit of the patch, Millennium. I already see it, A tier, S tier. I'm not 100% sure yet. Like Millennium APS is absolutely S tier. Millennium APS probably one of the strongest comps right now, but I think Millennium's upper A tier overall. It just helped the unit so much to come back into the game after it was probably one of the worst units for such a long time, with the overkilling units, with attacking way too slow. But now Millennium is probably one of the strongest units mid and late game, and it will even help you through waves that you actually need pierce damage together with an APS because of all the splash damage. And because APS got now stronger with the Millennium, it got some buffs with Aqua since they got more attack speed. I want to rate the APS higher as well, somewhere in the middle of B. Actually, if we rate around how they perform in the groups as well, we have to do the Windhawk a little bit more up and that one more down. But there's no specific order in there, so only the first and the very last ones are ordered, I would say. Next on, Pollywog, still probably the worst unit besides of the possibility to do the L split. Tempest, they're not really shining at the moment. They got nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. They're fine with Violets, but that's about it. Well, what should we say about Shrooms? what should we say about shrooms? They're just fucking trash. You can't really do shit with it. Think more like B for polys. I can see this. Like, the upgrades of polys are pretty good, but Pollywog itself with all the HP nerfs is really trash. That's what I would say. So it's like upper C. I think we can agree on upper C, and Shroom is good where it is at the last spot of C. I would maybe even put it in D slowly because it's actually trash. Ranger, still worst unit in the game at the moment, I would say. But now we're having Bazooka, Pyro, super trash still. And we're having the Zeus, it got buffed again. Zeus now in a spot where it might be one of the more used openers again. So I obviously have to increase the power of Zeus. But since Pyro is so weak, I think I want to put it at around the end of B tier. Like upper C tier, lower B tier. I think that's where it belongs. And I think at the moment I'm pretty happy with the tier list we got here. Even you don't have major upsets. Maybe the poly a little bit. You want to shift it around. If there's still units you would shift, we can now discuss it. Pilgrim at C. Yeah, obviously Basti would not agree on that, but Pilgrim is just not strong enough. Usually, unless you play it, obviously. Pilgrim is F tier. Okay, so Pilgrim is the upset unit. It's actually okay as an early game unit, but it's not shining, especially not the upgrades. So I think we can discuss the rest on stream. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tier list. If there's questions, ask them in the comments. I'm gonna come back to them, and see you next time.